You all must have been hearing a whole lot of experienced speakers speak about their view about the climate change and what we can do to contribute for a better life in the future. But at the same time, it's so important that we learn these lessons of how we take care of our mind and how it can influence the environment around us from a very young age. Whilst I was listening to the previous speaker, I remember, I think when I was in kindergarten, and my grandmother had a small little kitchen garden, and she was growing some, kind of plants that you can grow, vegetables and things like that. And I remember her telling me that, she made a small little plant and she named it with my name. And she would say that, you should water it every day. But more than watering it, you should talk to it. And I'd wonder how can, how could that be useful? Because I would ask her, but it won't respond. If I go and talk to the plant, it's not going to respond. So why should I talk to it? And I remember her telling me that it will respond. And how will she respond? How will it respond? And she would say that it will grow. That is how it will respond, So the thing is, the environment is so available to the kind of vibrations that we provide and give. And I've always had people telling us that people who love plants and things like that, they always tell, I speak to my plants, I speak in my garden, and I see they're doing so well. Our vibration does reach out. Just like sound, just like light, it travels. Our thoughts travel. Every environment has a vibration. You go to a temple, you feel very nice. You'd like to just sit there for a while. You go to a theater, very excited. So you go, every home, every environment carries that kind of vibrations on the basis of the quality of thoughts that we have. And there are certain places that you would want to go again and again, not just because of the place in itself, but because of the vibrations there. Because people who go there make an effort to think right. If a group of people are thinking in a similar way, everybody's comfortable there. Because the vibrations environment is created accordingly. That's why I said, Jaisi Vritti, Vaise Vayamandal. Vritti is your attitude. The kind of an attitude you creates that kind of environment. I remember someone talking to me a while ago, quite about a decade ago, and he was mentioning that how it is that, it's just his daughter who's disturbed. Now she didn't do very well in her exams and she's locked up in her room. She doesn't come out, she doesn't eat, and she's very disturbed. And so there are his parents, parents, and then there is the siblings. There's so many in the house. All are disturbed. It's not like none of them have to go through anything like that, what she's going through. But there's one person who's disturbed, has disturbed the whole family because the environment is created on the basis of just even one person's attitude. So you can imagine when environment is created through our thoughts in such a high level, you can understand how the nature is affected too. Our thoughts reach out in all directions. Let's say, you have a person sitting in front of you. You would know whether the person likes you or not. If you know this person, we do know whether the person likes you or not. They don't have to come and tell you, I don't like you, I like you. We know. A lot of people come up and tell me, I think this person doesn't like me. And I always, I always ask them, why you think that this person doesn't like you? Did he come and tell you that he doesn't like you? Did he do something that makes you feel that he doesn't like you? And they'll always say, the thing is, I feel it. They didn't tell me anything. They didn't do anything, but I feel it. Where does the feeling come? It's the vibration. The vibration that travels all through, all the time. And we are completely aware of that. If someone likes us, if someone doesn't like us, whether the environment is giving you happiness or not. There's someone who's working somewhere and he said, sister, this environment is not really comfortable for me. I don't think I can work here. And I said, okay, but what do you want to do? I said, I'm going to Goa for a break. I'm taking 2 weeks break and I'm going to Goa. I said, okay, will this make you feel good? He said, yeah, I think I'm going to feel really good and I'm going. And so he went to Goa. And then I think a couple of days later, he called me. And then he said, sister, give me some thoughts to relax myself. Give me some thoughts to meditate upon. I said, you went there to relax, isn't it? You went all the way to Goa from Hyderabad to relax. Why is it that you need thoughts to relax yourself now? And he said, sister, the thing is, he has an issue with his colleague. He's not able to get along with. So he said, I've left Hyderabad. I've left that company. I'm in Goa. I'm going to restaurants. I'm going to the beach. I'm going everywhere. But the only person I'm remembering and thinking about is my colleague. So who creates an environment? My thoughts. It is said, Jaisi Smriti, the kind of awareness you have. Vaisi Man Ki Sthiti, the kind of state of mind you create. Or Jaisi Man Ki Sthiti, Vaisi Vritti, the kind of an attitude you create. Or Jaisi Vritti, Vaisi Drishti, the way you see the world. Or Jaisi Drishti, Vaisi Kriti, the kind of actions you perform. The kind of vision, so will be your action. Or Jaisi Kriti, Vaisi Srishti, the kind of world you create around you, including nature, everything. Or Jaisi Srishti, and again you come back to Smriti, the kind of awareness. Spirituality is to be aware of who you are. They say the two things, what we do and what we are. Right? We keep on doing a lot of things, but how do we change an environment around us? It's just not about doing. Of course, we do. A lot of people do a lot of good things. But what is the awareness that I have while doing it? Because what I'm aware of is my dharma. That is what is my contribution. That is what is my religion. Religion is what you contribute. The original religion of the self. So the thing is, I'll give an example. I was traveling from here to Mumbai, and there was a Sikh man sitting next to me, with the turban and all. And so he seemed to be the most busiest man on that plane because he had 3 mobiles and all ringing, and he was giving them some response about, when he's going to reach Mumbai and so on and so forth. And the air hostess had to come and tell him to stop talking because the plane is taking off. That busy he was. And then once we landed, and then we are coming out of the plane, and he was, was in a hurry because he was trying to decide from which part of the plane is going to get off, from the back or from the front, because the door from the back was open too. So I was rushing out, and it was an Indian Airlines flight, and I don't expect much from the air hostesses. Usually, most the experience that I've had is that I've seen air hostesses standing with this gesture. But the gesture and the expression don't go together because the face is always, they're saying that just go home because I want to go home too, Of course, I can understand because they're tired. So this air hostess was different. She's busy as any other air hostess would be. But, she was there, and as I was rushing out, and this man, the most busiest man, he was on the plane, he was on the phone, and he was saying, I want to get off the plane, but the madam in front of me is not letting me go. And that madam is me. My luggage was stuck in the overhead locker. It's not coming out. So he was in such a hurry. So anyway, I came out, rushed out, and she was standing there, this air hostess, and she said, Om Shanti. And I was like taken aback because, she must be knowing about Brahma Kumaris to greet me saying Om Shanti. I said, do you know Brahma Kumaris? She said, no. I said, how do you know you have to greet me by saying Om Shanti? She said, I asked somebody, who is she? They said, Brahma Kumaris. They keep saying Om Shanti, Om Shanti. So I said, I'm greeting you by saying Om Shanti. And I said, thank you. But you know what Om Shanti means? She said, no. I said, Om means I am Shanti's peace. That is, I am peace. Then I'm introducing myself. So your peace, I am peace, no trouble, please. So then she smiled and I walked out. And the Sikh man was right behind me. So he came out and she looked at him and she said, Sat Sri Akal. He stopped there, right there. And he said, oh, ma'am, you made my day. And he started talking Punjabi. And she said, no, I'm from Kerala. I don't know Punjabi. I couldn't help turn back and watch this because it's such a wonderful scene The thing is, she could just stand there with no expression and she'd be paid, absolutely paid. But then she decided to contribute some little color, some little fragrance, some little spice in a very mundane job. That is what I understand as spirituality. So when you're able to add something of your qualities, your virtues into a very simple task, that is your dharma. I'm sure, there have been a lot of air hostesses, but she's the one person that I remember because that's her signature. I remember her. The thing is, this is how you spread vibration. It's just not about sitting on top of Himalayas and sending across vibration to the world. I mean, of course, that's not a problem if you are for it. But the thing is, it's about getting connected to the world with the right awareness is what you spread the vibrations in the right direction, the right way. And I've had several situations where I've seen people actually contribute in the most beautiful way. And the thing is, they're not really aware that they're doing it. I think the best way to spread it is not to be too conscious about it. I have to do something good. Somebody was telling me, sister, I'm so fed up with myself. And I asked her, why are you fed up with yourself? What's going on? She said, the whole day I'm trying to please everyone. And by the end of the day, I'm not pleased with myself. To be good is also a lot of tension. How can I bring out what I'm natural, the way I am? I'll just give you an example. And I happen to have someone who works in a fertilizer company here. He called me and he said he's going to bring his daughter along because she failed her intermediate first year. The surprising fact is that she was third highest in her school in 10th. And then she failed in 3 subjects in 11, and she's in one of those very very competitive colleges, that Fiji or something, where you don't get a seat easily. So, but how did she fail? So then her mother bought her and she said, oh my God, it's so terrible. My brother's children, they go to IIT and look at her. She failed in the intermediate. And her mother kept on crying. I felt this mother needs meditation than the daughter, because she kept on crying. And the daughter has no expression, absolutely no expression. And she would say, please ask her whether she wants to change from science to maths. So I'd look at her and ask, Ramya, do you want to do science and not maths? And she would shrug her shoulders and no expression. After a while, the mother would say, ask her sister whether she wants to learn meditation. And I asked, do you want to learn meditation, Ramya? She would just shrug her shoulders and no expression. So this went on for 4 days, absolutely no result. The father came along on the 5th day. And he said, I just want to, brief you about Ramya. I said, oh my God, your wife has briefed me so much about Ramya already. But she said, I want to tell you something. And he said, 1990, 9:20 a.m., October 10th, Ramya was born, sister. And that very minute, that very second, my fortune got awakened. She's brought fortune into my life. And she's a diamond, sister. I just bought her to you for polishing. If she thinks, she can do it. She's a diamond. And slowly I just looked at Ramya. Ramya's expressions changed. She's crying. And suddenly she caught hold of her father's hand and she said, Papa, main karke dikhaun. She said, I'll do and I'll show you. I'll do and show you, Papa. You don't worry. The only thing we have to do, the awareness, is to consider myself to be a diamond and see others as diamonds. And the more I do that, the more the vibrations keep changing around us. We don't have to take our time. So, a lot of people, they think about taking chunks of time and doing it. No. Whilst walking, talking, moving around, doing whatever I'm doing, if I'm able to change my awareness to something more better, something that can influence others, that itself is a wonderful way to even influence a climate. This is not going to happen overnight, because this is a step-by-step process. It's like you need to have patience with oneself, right? So I think about in 2002 or something, I came across a small story and I want to share. It's a very, very, funny story, but it's something that, it really made me think, because nothing happens too quickly. Everything takes time. So it seems this is a story. It's not real. So this woman goes to a magician like Mantragari, and she goes to him and she says, make a magic potion for my husband because he's so angry and he has no love and he throws things around. So can you make a magic potion that if he drinks, he should feel only love and love and love? Can you make something like that? So he said, I'll make, no problem, but you have to bring a whisker of a lion. She said, oh my God, where do I get a whisker of a lion? He said, I don't know, you bring it and I'll make it. So it seems in the outskirts of her village, there's a forest and a lion would come and eat, drink water. So she would go there and watch for some time. And she really saw a lion from a distance and she came back. So every day she would go to the same spot and take two steps forward for 6 months. And she came very close to the lion. She tiptoed towards the lion and she plucked the whisker of the lion. And the lion said nothing. Said, okay, take it, koi baat nahi, let's just take it. So she took that lion's whisker and she went and gave to the magician. The magician saw it and said, oh my God, this is a whisker of a lion. You bought it. She said, yes, 6 months of effort. He just left it in the air. He just literally threw it. And she started crying. I made so much effort and I bought it to you and this is what you do. And he looked at her and said, madam, if you could tame a wild animal in 6 months, what is your husband? The only thing you have to do is 2 steps at a time, 2 steps at a time. That's all that it takes. What I'd like you all to do is to think about one problem that is disturbing your mind in the recent months or recent whatever is troubling you. Just take that situation, whether it's your health, whether it's your future, whether it's your family, whether it's your career, whether it's a relationship or whatever. Just think about it for just a second, yeah? And then place it in front of God. Whomever you think is a higher source, whomever you believe to be the higher source, place it in front of him for an answer, just for a thought, okay? And if you've done it, just write in the chat boxes, in the chat, just write yes. If you say yes, then yes, okay. Now, the next thing is, think of a number from 1 to 20. 1 to 20, any number from 1 to 20. Think about it. If you've thought about it, yeah, yes, okay. Gitesh, he'll show you a list now. See this list and choose your number. That is the answer you get from God. It changes your awareness instantly. Take your number, for example, if your number is 8, don't become hopeless because I'll always see you as the one who gives hope to others. Okay. So if your number is 4, take 1 step of courage and I will take you forward 1,000 steps. So take that as an answer from God. And that brings about a very special elevated awareness. Spend just about a second and you take this thought every day before you begin your day. Okay. Thank you so much for listening to me. If I can take 1 minute to have a little silence and we can take a thought of good wishes for everyone. Okay, just sit back, relax for just about a minute. Put all the weight on your feet and just go with the thoughts that I give you for about a half a minute. Slowly, gently, bring the awareness that right behind my eyes, I'm a point of light, a living diamond, sparkling with all qualities, treasure house of all experiences and virtues. I'm special, and everyone around me, including my family members, my colleagues and friends, I see them all in the same light, like sparkling little diamonds, and I send across a good wish of love. And I wish for them patience, strength, God's help, and protection and most of all, courage. And for the whole world, a whole world of little lights, I wish them all hope, and with the depth of my heart, I wish them strength. And above this world and above this universe is God, the supreme light. Let His light spread across to all of us and be under His canopy of protection. Thank you for listening to me.